So, for decades, I think we can all agree, the ultimate real estate flex was entirely visible.
Oh, completely. It was all about what you could show off.
Right. It was demonstrative. Like, you'd walk into a premium penthouse, and it was just this visual assault of wealth, you know?
Oh, yeah.
We're talking shiny gold fixtures everywhere, massive imported marble pillars, the crystal chandeliers that are literally the size of a small car.
Just screaming wealth.
Exactly. It was all about showing anyone who walked through your door exactly how much capital you would manage to accumulate.
Right, but that's changing so fast now.
It really is. Because today, the wealthiest people on earth, they're paying tens of millions of dollars for things they literally can't even see.
Yeah, which is fascinating.
We are entering this era of quiet luxury, I guess you'd call it, where the ultimate status symbol is no longer gold or marble. It's the ability to buy back your own health.
For time, your cellular youth.
Yeah, exactly. So welcome to the world of longevity real estate. Today, we are actually kicking off a brand new series. And for you, the intensely curious learner joining us, we are going to unpack the absolute cutting edge of this movement.
It's going to be a fun one.
It really is. And we're using a flagship project in Dubai. It's called AKALA, as our ultimate case study for what the future of human habitation actually looks like.
Yeah, and I mean, the shift from visual luxury to biological luxury, it is arguably the most significant real estate pivot of our generation.
Wow, really? The most significant?
Oh, absolutely. Because we are no longer talking about buildings with like a nice gym or a fancy juice bar in the lobby.
Right.
We're looking at environments that are engineered down to the microscopic level, like designed to actively intervene in human biology.
Which sounds like science fiction, honestly.
It does. But to truly understand a project like AKALA, we kind of have to establish a baseline first.
Makes sense.
Because anytime you have massive amounts of capital flowing into a new trend, you know what happens? The market just gets flooded with opportunists.
Oh, of course. Everyone wants a piece.
Right. So right now, the industry is just drowning in what we call longevity washing.
Longevity washing. Okay, so it's basically the real estate equivalent of a fast food company slapping a little green leaf sticker on a highly processed snack.
Yes.
And calling it eco-friendly, right?
That's the exact playbook.
Like a developer puts a cold plunge tub in the basement, throws up a neon sign that says Longevity Lounge, and suddenly they feel justified charging a 40% premium on the units.
Literally happens every day. And to cut through that noise, you have to understand that true longevity real estate operates on 3 distinct verifiable tiers.
Okay, let's break those down. What's the first one?
So the core tier is human health span.
Health span, not just lifespan.
Exactly. This means the built environment actively and measurably extends the residents' healthy years. So it's intervening in the air they breathe, the light they absorb, the water they consume.
Okay, got it.
Then the second tier is the building asset itself.
Meaning the physical structure.
Right. The structural engineering and the materials, they have to possess this timeless durability, meaning the building won't be functionally or aesthetically obsolete in a decade.
It has to actually last.
Exactly. And the third tier is the risk-adjusted investment.
Okay, the financial side.
Right. Because when an asset successfully hits those first 2 tiers, it sustains its value, which ensures long-term liquidity and yield.
Okay, but I mean, anyone can print a glossy brochure claiming their building optimizes health.
Oh, and they do. Trust me.
So as a buyer, or even just an analyst looking at this space, how do you actually spot the fake? Like, we need an anti-washing test.
We really do, and it basically consists of 3 foundational blocks. For a project to be genuine, it must absolutely nail Block B and then have at least one of the other 2.
Okay, let's start with Block A. What is that?
Block A is certification. So third-party, scientifically verified proof.
Like inspectors coming in?
Yeah, we are talking about global standard bearers, right? Like the WELL certification, which audits human health and safety inside the structure, or ALE, which verifies rigorous environmental sustainability.
Ah, okay.
If a developer claims they are building a longevity project, but refuses to subject their building to independent medical and environmental audits, that is a massive red flag.
Because they're just grading their own homework at that point.
Exactly.
I mean, it's one thing to say your air is clean. It's another to have an actual microbiologist confirm it.
Right. It's night and day.
But you mentioned Block B is the non-negotiable one, like the core of it. What does that entail?
So Block B is invisible engineering.
Invisible engineering?
Yeah. This is the incredibly expensive, completely hidden infrastructure that physically alters your biology.
And I'm guessing the washing projects just skip this.
Oh, entirely. Because a complex HVAC system doesn't exactly look impressive on an Instagram rendering, you know?
That's not a crystal chandelier.
Right. But let's look at the mechanics. We're talking about multi-stage HEPA and MRV air filtration systems.
Okay, why is that so critical?
Because urban air contains microscopic particulate matter. And when that's inhaled constantly, it causes chronic cellular inflammation.
Yikes.
We're also talking about zero VOC materials.
Oh, VOCs, volatile organic compounds.
Exactly.
People tend to think of air pollution as like the smog outside their window.
Yeah, the exhaust fumes.
Right. But the reality is that brand new luxury couch you just bought, or the fresh paint on your walls, it's often silently off-gassing formaldehyde and other neurotoxins into your living room while you sleep.
It's terrifying when you actually look at the data.
So the invisible engineering just stops that off-gassing at the source.
Precisely. Because chronic low-grade exposure to VOCs keeps your immune system in this perpetual state of defense.
Which causes inflammation.
Right, which accelerates cellular aging.
Wow. Okay, what else is in Block B?
Another really critical component is advanced circadian lighting.
Okay, so matching the sun.
Exactly. The human pineal gland relies on the color temperature of the sun to regulate hormones, right?
Yeah.
When the sun sets, that warm amber light signals your brain to start producing melatonin.
So you can actually sleep.
Right.
Right.
But if your apartment is blasting you with blue-toned LED light at 10 p.m., your brain literally thinks it's high noon.
So your cortisol just stays elevated.
Your cortisol spikes, your sleep is compromised, and your biological recovery just plummets.
Man.
True Longevity Real Estate installs automated lighting that mimics the exact Kelvin temperature of the natural sun outside. It basically forces your biology into its proper evolutionary rhythm.
That is so fascinating because, the marble countertops are totally visible, but the fact that the paint on the walls isn't silently causing oxidative stress, that's completely invisible.
Totally invisible.
And it costs developers an absolute fortune to get right.
It does. Which brings us to Block C.
Okay, what's Block C?
Block C is medical infrastructure. And I really need to be remarkably clear here. A spa is not medical infrastructure.
Right, a sauna doesn't count.
No. Block C means that the building has actual named diagnostic clinics integrated right into the residential ecosystem.
Wow, yeah.
It means there are board-certified doctors, stem cell protocols, AI-driven health tracking, and continuous clinical follow-ups happening inside the building.
This requires a really sharp distinction, I think. Because the real estate industry uses the words wellness and longevity interchangeably all the time.
All the time.
Like they're synonyms.
Yeah, and they're wildly different concepts. I mean, wellness is fundamentally subjective, right?
Very much so.
It's how a nice deep tissue massage makes you feel. It's relaxation. But longevity, on the other hand, is entirely objective.
Exactly. It's measurable.
Right. Wellness is the spa, which, if you think about it, is the exit. It's where you go to unwind and just check out.
I like that analogy. Thanks. But diagnostics is the entrance. Like, you absolutely cannot extend your healthy lifespan if you don't measure your biological baseline first.
You can't improve what you don't measure.
Exactly. If you don't know your specific biomarkers, your blood panels, your cellular age, you are just flying blind, hoping that fancy cold plunge in the basement is doing something.
That analogy perfectly captures the structural flaw in most luxury real estate today.
Yeah.
Because you need hard data to create a biological protocol, and you need a highly controlled environment to actually execute it.
Which brings us to the actual subject of our deep dive today.
Yes.
Now that we have the analytical toolkit to, separate the marketing fluff from the actual science, we can examine a project that is really aiming to define this space for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
And that is AKALA.
AKALA.
So let's set the scene for AKALA. Just the name itself communicates a very specific intention. It comes from an ancient Sanskrit word meaning beyond time.
I love that.
Right. And the physical location is just spectacular. It's nestled in the Zabil area, which is right in the strategic center of Dubai.
Incredible spot.
Yeah, boasting these amazingly premium, unobstructed views of the Burj Khalifa. And the entire mantra of the development is live in the center, stay centered.
It's a very ambitious philosophical stance, honestly.
How so?
Well, they are attempting to merge time-tested ancient wisdom with absolute cutting-edge modern biophysics. And they've engineered the architecture itself to actively enforce that mantra.
Meaning the building does the work for you.
Exactly. The building is not just a passive container for apartments. It is designed as a sensory therapeutic journey.
Okay, now how does a building actually become a therapeutic journey? Because I have to be honest, my immediate reaction is that it sounds like peak marketing speak.
Oh, it definitely sounds like it.
But I know there's actual architectural science behind the way our brains process space.
There is deep psychological engineering at play here. The architects of AKALA's Twin Towers utilize a deliberate physical sequence known as compression and release.
Compression and release.
Yeah. Frank Lloyd Wright used a primitive version of this, actually, but here it is almost weaponized for parabiology.
Weaponized architecture, I like it. How does it work?
So, as you move from the chaotic energy of downtown Dubai and into the building, the architecture deliberately transitions you through areas of darker, cooler, tighter confinement. That's the compression.
Oh, I see. It's like the architectural version of putting on high-end noise-canceling headphones right after stepping off a screaming, crowded subway.
That is a brilliant way to conceptualize it, yeah.
It just shuts it all out.
Exactly. And physiologically, moving through that compressed, cooler space triggers the parasympathetic nervous system.
It forces you to calm down.
Right. It forces your heart rate to drop, lowers your cortisol, and naturally quiets the mind.
Okay, and then what?
Then, the architecture seamlessly transitions you into the release.
So the opposite of the dark hallways.
Yes. Areas of brilliant, warm, expansive light and massive spatial volume.
Oh, wow.
And this rapid shift stimulates serotonin production. They are literally manipulating spatial volume, lighting, and temperature to recalibrate the resident's nervous system before they even reach their front door.
So the building essentially acts as an airlock between the stress of the outside world and your private sanctuary.
Exactly.
And that aligns perfectly with where ultra-high net worth individual trends are heading right now.
It really does. When we analyze the midterm future, specifically that 2026 to 2035 window, we see this massive migration of capital away from demonstrative material assets toward experiential luxury.
Right. Fewer chandeliers, more experiences.
Exactly. The wealthiest demographics now demand spaces that heavily utilize biophilic elements.
Biophilic meaning bringing nature indoors.
Yes. Integrating living walls, natural organic textures, and water features deeply into the concrete because human biology fundamentally relaxes when it's surrounded by natural fractal patterns.
That makes total sense.
And they pair this with what the hospitality industry calls weightless service.
Weightless service, meaning your needs are anticipated and resolved without you ever having to ask.
You don't even have to think about it.
So you never feel the cognitive friction of a transaction. I mean, it's the ultimate iteration of quiet luxury.
Truly.
But, okay, building an airlock of calm is one thing. When we put AKALA through our rigorous anti-washing test, the 3 blocks, does it actually pass?
It passes definitively.
Okay, let's look at the receipts.
Let's do it. For Block A, certification, AKALA possesses impeccable architectural credentials. They are backed by LEM-E, Gold, and WELL, Silver pre-certifications.
Okay, so that's the real deal.
It is. That proves they have submitted their designs to rigorous, independent scientific audits regarding their environmental sustainability and human health impacts.
So they aren't relying on their own PR team. They actually have the external data.
Exactly. But where AKALA truly separates itself from the rest of the global market is Block C.
The medical infrastructure.
Right. This is a medical development based on precision wellness. They have integrated a named, highly respected facility, the Everwell Clinic, directly into the residential ecosystem.
Okay, so it's not just a fancy gym.
No, this means residents don't just have a treadmill, they have on-site access to actual diagnostic laboratories.
Wow.
Advanced stem cell treatments, bespoke hormone therapies, and AI-driven personalized health plans.
Okay, wait, I have to push back here for a second.
Sure.
Because we hear the phrase smart homes all the time, right?
Yeah, constantly.
Your fridge orders milk, you clap your hands and the blinds close, whatever. But what you are describing borders on something entirely different.
It is a totally different ballgame.
Yeah, because if my building is actively monitoring my biomarkers, tracking my sleep architecture, and adjusting the air based on my stress levels, where is the line between a home that heals me and, like, a dystopian biomedical surveillance state?
That is such a valid concern.
Right. Why would an ultra-wealthy individual who usually values privacy above literally all else, surrender that much intimate biological data to their real estate developer?
Look, that is the most important question we can ask about this technology, and it hits on a massive paradigm shift in the industry.
Okay.
The developer isn't holding the data to sell you ads.
Right, they're not a social media company.
Exactly. In this tier of real estate, the building actually transitions into what we call a medical fiduciary.
A medical fiduciary.
Yes, just as a financial fiduciary is legally obligated to protect your wealth, this environment is contractually and biologically bound to protect your cellular health.
No, that's an interesting way to frame it.
And to address the privacy concern directly, this all operates on closed-loop, local edge computing.
Meaning the data doesn't go to the cloud.
Exactly. It stays entirely within the physical servers inside your own home. Nobody else sees it.
Okay, that makes a huge difference.
It does. And what you are describing, this integration, it's the shift into what industry analysts call the phygital reality.
Phygital.
Okay.
The blending of the physical and the digital. Break down what that actually looks like on a random Tuesday night in, say, 2035.
Okay, imagine a living space where medical AI diagnostics run completely invisibly in the background.
Just constantly scanning.
Right. Your home knows your real-time biorhythms. It monitors your REM sleep cycles, your resting heart rate variability, your respiratory rate.
Well, I'm just watching TV or sleeping.
Exactly. Now, let's say the sensors detect you've had a day of severe physiological stress. Your cortisol is through the roof.
Sounds like a typical Tuesday, yeah.
Right. So the responsive architecture automatically adapts.
What does it do?
It subtly shifts the circadian lighting to accelerate melatonin production. It alters the multi-stage air filtration to increase oxygenation and filter out inflammatory particulate matter.
Unbelievable.
It even dynamically adjusts the thermal comfort of your mattress to lower your core body temperature, which is a biological requirement for deep restorative sleep.
It's literally like living inside a giant luxurious smartwatch.
That's a great way to put it.
But one that doesn't just tell you that you slept poorly. It actually administers environmental therapies to fix it for you.
Exactly. And looking even further ahead, past 2035, the material science is evolving to include programmable matter.
What is that?
Self-healing materials that can literally repair their own micro cracks over time. The building itself basically becomes an organism.
That is a staggering concept, truly. So we've established that AKALA is an absolute marvel of architectural and physiological engineering.
Without a doubt.
But for you, our listener, who might be viewing this through the lens of a macro investor, we have to look at the market dynamics too.
Of course. The numbers have to make sense.
Right. Because building a biological sanctuary is incredible, but building it in the wrong city renders it useless.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this level of extreme innovation incubating specifically in Dubai?
Well, Dubai is currently the perfect macroeconomic and social incubator for this specific asset class.
Why is that?
It acts as a global magnet for ultra-high net worth individuals for a few highly quantifiable reasons. The purchasing power and global quality of life indices are exceptionally high, which, attracts the capital necessary to fund these innovations.
Sure, the money is there.
But the real anchor, the absolute prerequisite for longevity, is safety and stability.
Safety?
Yeah. Dubai currently boasts an incredible safety index of 86.4. And that is juxtaposed with a remarkably low crime index of just 13.6.
Wow. We really have to unpack the psychology of those numbers because it connects directly back to the biology we were just talking about.
It really does.
Because a safety index of 86.4 means a resident can wear, a $2 million watch to dinner, walk home at 2 a.m., and not experience a single spike in adrenaline regarding their personal security.
Zero stress about safety.
Right. And that level of absolute psychological safety is the foundational requirement before someone will invest tens of millions of dollars into a biological sanctuary.
Exactly.
I mean, think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right. Safety is at the base.
Exactly. You cannot optimize your cellular health.
Yeah.
You cannot lower your cortisol if your amygdala is constantly firing. Keeping your nervous system in a state of hypervigilance about your physical safety outside your front door.
That is a crucial insight. The psychological baseline of the city itself must be secure before the biological optimization inside the building can truly take effect.
Right.
You cannot out-engineer a chaotic external environment. No air filter can fix that. Dubai provides the sterile, safe petri dish required for a project like AKALA to really thrive.
And the scale of the project really reflects that global demand, right?
Yeah.
They are offering an incredibly diverse range of floor plans.
Yeah, quite a spread.
Everything from sophisticated one-bedroom apartments to sprawling five-bedroom luxury spaces and massive penthouses.
Truly massive.
And while we won't get bogged down in the minute details of the sales sheets, the entry points do tell a story about the market. You are looking at around 6.4 million UAE dirhams for a two-bedroom space. And that scales well over 23.8 million dirhams for the premium four-bedroom layouts with those unobstructed Burj Khalifa views.
Yeah, and the timeline is equally aggressive, with a targeted completion in October 2029.
So it's coming up fast.
It is. But, the financial metrics here are almost secondary to the philosophical shift in why this capital is moving in the first place.
What do you mean?
Ultra high net worth individuals are no longer just diversifying their financial portfolios. They are actively attempting to diversify their biological portfolios.
That brings up the ultimate irony of extreme wealth, doesn't it?
It does.
I talk to investors all the time who spend their entire lives accumulating capital, completely sacrificing their sleep, their diet, their stress management, just to build an empire.
It's the classic entrepreneur story.
Yeah, but the brutal reality is a client can have $1 billion in liquid assets, but they absolutely cannot buy back a lost decade of health.
You just can't.
If your cartilage is gone, if your cardiovascular system is compromised, if your cellular age outpaces your chronological age, all the money in the world is just meaningless numbers on a screen.
And that is the realization driving this entire sector.
Yeah.
Longevity real estate is the realization that the most valuable asset being protected and optimized isn't the concrete, it isn't the glass, or the prime location.
It's the person.
Yes, the primary asset is the resident themselves.
Well, let's summarize the journey we've taken today. We started by cutting through the noise of longevity washing, establishing that a legitimate longevity property requires rigorous third-party certification, invisible engineering like that hospital-grade air filtration, and objective data-driven medical diagnostics.
The 3 blocks.
Exactly. We then explored our case study, AKALA, and this incredible sanctuary rising in the center of Dubai. We saw how it utilizes the architectural psychology of compression and release to actively lower cortisol and calm the nervous system.
Which is just brilliant design.
It really is.
Yeah.
And we verified its credentials with Licky Gold, Well Silver, and the integration of that Everwell clinic.
Yeah.
And finally, we looked at the macro reality, understanding that Dubai provides the ultimate safe haven, the psychological baseline required for these investments.
Perfect summary.
AKALA isn't just a place to sleep. It is a meticulously engineered machine designed to optimize human potential.
It really is the vanguard of this movement. And, as we conclude this analysis, I want to leave you with a concept to just mull over.
What is it?
We've talked extensively about this approaching phygital reality, right? A near future where our homes rely on edge computing to invisibly monitor our biodata.
Yeah.
Filtering our air based on our cellular inflammation, and adjusting our circadian rhythms to enforce recovery.
Right. The home is a medical fiduciary.
Exactly. The boundaries between the human body and the human habitat are literally disappearing. So the question we have to ask ourselves is this. If your building is actively managing your biology, predicting your illnesses, and administering your therapies autonomously, at what point does the home stop being just a shelter and start becoming a literal extension of your own immune system?
From a passive fortress to a living, breathing biological organism.
Exactly.
What an incredible concept to end on. Thank you for joining us on this first deep dive of our longevity series. We've got so much more to explore as we map out the future of human habitation, so stay curious, keep exploring the spaces around you, and we'll see you on the next one.